Mike Loverboy. This is one of our show preppers. This is the guy, I started to have him on, but then I kind of told the story. I wish I had him on.
All right.
This is Matthew, nicknamed Chico Palmer. He's one of our show preppers.
That's Chico Palmer.
And we've discussed this before. And all we've seen are still photos, but now you get to see the video. KI did this great story on Matthew and the ridiculousness of the bureaucracy that this guy has had to go through and the money he's had to spend.
Right, with the code enforcement. He's
got a trailer that he bought, a travel trailer. It's expensive, and the code, it's not in a neighborhood with we're not dealing with a homeowners association here. You're dealing with the city of Austin, which is notorious. I saw him yesterday. They have code enforcement trucks painted with multiple colors and logos, and they have a little uniform. It's this weird cadre of ex-cops that are going around just bullying people, trying to do business and live their lives in Austin, and it's getting well known. And why somebody doesn't call Mark out on it, I don't know. From what I understand, the city council can't do anything about it. Some sort of weird deal. But listen to the story. It'll infuriate you.
That this can even happen.
New at 10, an Austin homeowner.
KI.
The city's code compliance department got it wrong, and now he has to pay. The department does admit to the mistake, but is refusing to back down, telling that homeowner to make the changes.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Did you hear that? The city of Austin admits it approved it, but it was a mistake, and now they want him to change it and pay for it. Do you hear this? Do you hear this, Austin? Do you hear this, Mike Martinez? Do you hear this, Kathy Tovo? Do you hear this, Lee Leffingwell? Stop making us a laughing stock and do something about these a-holes, because I'm about to blow up their telephones today. Not that does anything. It'll just disrupt business for the day. But I'm thinking about just giving the phone number out to this next guy you're going to see. It's infuriating, and I got something else I want to do try to mesh a couple things together, but let's listen to the rest of the story and I'll try not to yell.
Fence. It all surrounds a camper and the fence built to block it from the neighbor's view. KITV's Adam Rakusin brought the issue to the top, and now retraining is in the works.
In a city where weird is celebrated, it's understood that some things should be normal, like the Austin Code Compliance
Look at that
Department.
truck.
There hasn't been any complaints until this April.
Do you need a truck that has logos all over it, code compliance? What is wrong with you egomaniacs?
Palmer believes a mistake Austin Code made is not only weird.
It's frustrating, absolutely.
Palmer bought this camper about 4 years ago. He keeps it in his front yard, which is legal if he follows city code. When a neighbor filed a complaint,
I went ahead and built the fence.
His first fence building attempt to screen the camper from public view came up short.
They came by, they said that wasn't going to fly.
I'd gone
to right here.
He made changes after a couple meetings with a code compliance officer and a supervisor.
They just wanted me to build a panel on the back side of the trailer and then a panel closing up the gap.
And you did that?
Here, I did.
$750 later, case closed. It says so right here on the city paperwork. But months later, another complaint brought a new code compliance officer with more changes.
He told me that this fence wasn't acceptable. And I said, well, it's been accepted by a supervisor. And he said, well, that person's not my supervisor.
That was a mistake a year ago.
KITV took Palmer's concerns to the director of the Code Compliance Department, Carl Smart.
The notice of the violation was issued based on his interpretation of the code. How can a code inspector have a different interpretation? How can one interpret something one way and one interpret something another way?
Unfortunately, it does happen sometimes. Looking at the code with two different sets of eyes, that can happen.
Smart admits his officers need to enforce the code consistently. But we wanted to know,
how about when you make a mistake that's so stupid, the city of Austin pays for it so that the homeowner's not out just because some guy on a bicycle is worried about the way it looks? How about leaving the guy alone and shutting the F up and letting this one pass? Where it's not, no human beings will be harmed by looking at that trailer. It's just stupidity. It's infuriating. And I think I am going to give the number out for the code compliance, and I want everyone stuck on I-35 to call them right now. But I don't want, let's see, call 311 if you're having problems with any complaint, and please contact customer service manager Frances Hargrove. She can help research any problem you're having. Okay, here.
Oh.
I don't want to pick on Frances Hargrove.
I don't know. She's a very nice lady.
I just wanted you to call them and tell them to quit being stupid idiots. Where's the number? You know what? Call Frances Hargrove. I don't know. I'm going to give the number out. Am I breaking a law by doing this?
Yeah, I don't know anything about anything.
Code, and probably there's a code compliance that you can't pick on the code compliance people. Here you go. That's Wes Buckner, permit supervisor.
I have comments on this, but I don't want to make it any worse for our friend.
Can you? I know where you're going to go because I know you. You're going to go to your artistic aesthetics. This is not our house. This is this guy's house.
It's nothing about his house. It's just, how did that original fence even do anything?
They said it was fine.
It does. I know it doesn't. That's why the code is written
stupid,
sort of wonkily. Well, not wonkily.
I'd rather look at a trailer than the fence.
Rickety. Yeah, the trailer is much more attractive than the fence.
Yes.
Correct. Everybody in this room agrees to that.
That costs people time and money.
If it was a mistake, why should he be held responsible?
As property owner, he's still responsible for what happens on his property.
In an email,
Mr. Smart, you're not very smart. All right, here's what I want to do. We do this thing called Dudley and Bob Pretend to Care. It used to be called that time of the month, where you can send in, if somebody needs help, you can send it to klbjhelps@gmail.com. And once a month, I try to help somebody out. And this may not happen because I know fence companies, you're dealing with subcontractors sometime. Is there anybody out there who is a listener and fan of our show that will build this little fence around this damn trailer and shut these idiots at the city up? Is there anybody out there? Will you please contact me?
Does it have to go lower, higher, longer?
It doesn't matter.
Farther? What is
Somebody can build the fence. They're going to tell you in a second.
All right.
Here's what you'll get from me. You'll get a month's worth of free advertising for the $400 you spend on the wood or the $200 it costs you and the labor. I'll give you $10,000 worth of advertising, just like I did for Chase Flooring, who, by the way, put the flooring in for the gentleman that we talked to. What was it? Well, not Manny. What was his name? Manuel?
Yeah, I don't remember.
His name.
My brain doesn't work like that.
Another Manny we know confused. Anyway, thank you. See, I just mentioned Chase Flooring, and now people, when they're going, I wonder where I could get some flooring. Chase Flooring. That's how advertising works. I'll do the same for a fence company that will take care of Matthew's fence for that time of the month. And that way I don't have to look at the sad emails where people beg me for money for medical bills when I've said it's not money all along. Small business, fence company out there. It's email Daniel@klbjfm.com, or you can reach me on Facebook or Twitter. But let's just do this for this dude and shut these guys up. It's so ridiculous. And I don't know who's in charge. It's got to be Marcotte. Why doesn't it? How come Marcotte never gets called? The only time you see Marcotte is if there's a shooting, or if he wants to criticize the police chief. You don't see Marcotte for any other reason. You don't see Marcotte talking about the other problems in Austin.
I don't fully understand how our city works. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty ignorant.
Either.
I mean, I know that it's
time for a new city manager. Why doesn't anybody want to say that?
I know that
the Waller Creek debacle.
Well, I know that when you look at the city organizational chart, at the very top of the city organizational chart, there's a square that says Austin residents. So apparently we're all in charge. But I don't really feel... I'm a little worried about our Friday function now.
What Friday function?
The one that you're going to with everybody in the city.
Oh, Marcotte won't be at that. They're not. I don't think Marcotte and I don't think they're tight. I don't know. Right. I can't speak for anybody, but
I know the mayor and the city council reside over the city manager.
I'm not afraid to walk up to Marcotte and go, "What's your problem with the code, people? Why can't small businesses get their freaking businesses built? And you're worrying about how close a sink is to a door? I mean, I swear." I bet when those guys get out of those code trucks, they're wearing tall, long black boots, the kind with your pants tucked in.
No, they're not.
You will not build that here. I don't care what the previous... Are you allowed to do that accent anymore?
What, a Germany accent?
Councilmember Chris Riley wrote, in part, Austinites ought to be able to rely on the directions of code officers, and the city needs to do better at ensuring that mistakes like this don't happen.
Exactly, and pay for it if you do.
We're working now on putting together a retraining.
You're working on being stupid. That's what you're working on. You're an idiot.
Wow, you're fired up.
I hate this. I don't even live in the city of Austin. What am I doing? I'm broadcasting. I don't even live in the city. I don't care what happens.
I don't know what's going on.
Seriously, if somebody can help, he's one of our show preppers. He helps out.
For our inspectors to make sure that we've got good, consistent enforcement of this type of issue across the city.
It's rampant. You talk to anybody in business. Listen, they come to me because I still have a mouthpiece. If you talk to anybody doing small business in Austin, they will tell you it's the number one problem. My dentist friend that's been working on my oral surgery for months finally had to give up he can't get into an office. They thought they were going to be in November, and finally, guess what they did? They're going to Round Rock because they can't get in. because the city won't come by and even look at anything.
All right, well, you said that
They're too busy picking on homeowners to take care of the small businesses and get their code, their stuff all approved.
Are they going to indicate what changes need to be made? Are they asking for a complete demolish?
$2,000 per violation per day.
Well, who's got that kind of money?
It's thuggery.
If he had that kind of money.
Standing, posting that I was in violation and giving me 7 days to be in compliance.
Or what?
I think the next step is court.
At the moment, Palmer is left with either fixing the fence, requesting a variance through the city's Board of Adjustment, or taking the matter to court. Since I started looking into this, I've heard many reports of similar situations.
Duh!
If this happened to you, head to our website and let us know. Adam Rakusin, KITV News.
There you go. He just said it too. It's all over the place. Picking on homeowners when they should be taking care of the businesses because, from what I hear, it takes forever. Like if you need a permit for the plumbing, well, you get the plumbing finished, the plumber drives away, and the code people don't get by for 6 weeks.
Right.
Because they're too busy picking on people like this. Because a lot of them are former cops, and they need to do what former cops do, which is harass people. Because if you're a good cop, you'd still be a cop,
Maybe they work on a commission.
All right. If you can help Matthew, and you want to be part of Dudley and Bob Pretend to Care, I will mention you for a month, the entire month of August. If you're a fencing company, let's just get it done for the dude.
Well, we don't even know what has to be done.
So it doesn't have to.
What are they complaining of? What is?
He will tell us when the fence company comes out. It's wood. All you have to do is put wood. They want wood all the way around it, evidently.
They don't care about how high it is?
They're just, no. They don't know what they're doing. It's like the three.
Sticking above it.
I swear to God. It's Larry
10 feet.
It's the Larry Moe and Curly code compliance department. I swear to you. Hello?
Do you want to know what the problem is in this situation?
Code compliance.
Hello. This guy's a show prep of ours has a neighbor who does not like his trailer. Is just never going to like it. So he called code compliance on this guy. The guy then complied. Here's the problem. The neighbor still doesn't like it, but what the neighbor doesn't realize is the neighbor doesn't like what the code is for the city.
Right.
So he keeps calling. So code enforcement keeps coming out and going, well, I guess technically it does. Isn't maybe it isn't me. I mean,
is it that one dude who was doing this? Is it that one dude?
It's a different dude than that guy who just drives around now, who's mad because the city popped him once.
And
he's a baby, so he drives around and he narcs on everybody else in the city because he's
Why did the news say that the trailer was in his front yard? Why did they say that? Does the side yard constitute the front yard? And so what they're trying to do is make the side yard technically the backyard by fencing it in? Is it that kind of?
It's visible from the road.
Front. Yeah, I would call that.
Are you the new code compliance officer?
Yeah.
Well, you guys told me that this was approved. That's not an answer, sir. But I spent $700 on this fence.
Remind me to kill you later. I'll make a note of it.
I feel bad for Chico.
Let's sing a song. Chico, don't be discouraged.
That man is not that hard to understand.
And I apologize for any facts I got wrong.
Do they have the vocal harmonizer on this? Do they have
him just switch out your presets?
Yeah, man, this is nice. I could be a star.
Good morning. Hello. Is anybody screening our phone? Is anybody screening our phone calls?
Yeah.
Well, this guy's not screened. He may say something horrible. Hello?
I won't say anything horrible unless you ask me to.
Okay.
So the code enforcement people and the building inspection people are two different departments in the city of Austin.
Oh, okay.
They both suck, but I'm in construction, and those guys, they're the ones who inspect new construction, remodels, things like that. And code enforcement people walk around and tell you to fix your fence, paint your house.
I got you.
And it's actually not.
House needs.
And to be fair, there's no such thing as the code enforcement department in Austin.
Yes.
It's code compliance. They changed their name a few years ago because code compliance apparently I think sounds nicer. Hey, we're just asking you to comply.
Yeah.
We're not enforcing anything. We're asking you to comply.
Hey, we're glad you live here. We're glad you pay your taxes, which keep going up, and now we want you to do everything we tell you to do.
But the building inspector is different. Code enforcement, mainly, aren't they just like clean up your yard?
Yes.
But code enforcement originally, the original purpose of code enforcement was to make sure that everything was safe. Like
that's building code,
No. Really? Is it the two separate? But like a carport's not going to fall down and kill somebody.
That's different.
Wow, really? So we have a department that's just there for beauty.
Sort of, yeah.
We have a beauty department.
There's a division that used to be inside of waste management in the city.
Uh-huh.
And they were slung out about a decade ago. They got $10 million a year as of 2011 when the article I just read. And they apparently their job is sort of just to that there's certain codes.
That was the logo truck I saw yesterday. It said code compliance. They're just going around to make sure it's pretty.
Yeah, sort of.
Who? Matthew's on the phone? Okay, thanks for calling, dude. Hey, Matthew, how are you?
What's up, Matthew?
Hey, guys.
What's happening?
OIA.
OIA.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get you. I'm going to try. I don't know if it'll work. Fence companies are usually it's a contracted kind of thing out, At least it was when so I don't know if it'll work.
Are they suggesting a complete demo or an addition to?
Yeah, so the issue is the gap at the bottom, and that's what on the recording of the conversation when they told me it was going to be approved, that was specifically addressed.
Yeah, we should just but you're a fan of the show. That fence is horrific. We need to just tear that down and put a solid fence up.
It absolutely is.
With a gate, and we'll put a gate in the front so you can pull your trailer out.
Well, yeah, that'd be great.
And we'll put Christmas lights on it.
Maybe some show advertising.
I have threatened to make it look a lot worse if this continues.
Now, would they be happy if you just continue? I mean, because it's not going to look seamless if you add to it now on the bottom.
No, and here's the funny part.
Are they going to be?
I had a meeting with Call Smart 3 weeks ago, and per their definition of the code, it's a 1-to-4 ratio of open space to closed space. I only have to add 6 more inches.
That's what she said.
Exactly. And they're still insisting that I close it all the way to the bottom. So the director of code enforcement doesn't want to follow his own code.
It's so stupid. This is so stupid.
So
it's just an embarrassment.
I got a feeling they're still not going to be happy.
No, that's why I refuse to add the 6 inches
do you,
or do anything.
Do you have a neighbor? Well, if we can get you a fence, will you just do that?
Yeah, I will, but I also do want to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Adam, the reporter from KI, he said he's working on another story where it's the same thing and it's costing the property owner thousands of dollars, and it's a code enforcement mistake.
All right, we're up against the break, but email me and let me know if you want to do it, because otherwise I'm going to have to find a sadder story.
No, I'll absolutely do it.
Okay. Boy, oh boy, I've already run into some problems with Dudley and Bob Pretend to Care that will come out later on down the line, hopefully. All right, man. I'm glad KI did a great job, by the way. We don't give some of the TV stations credit very often, but KI did a super job on that.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to follow up in a couple weeks, and they said that they'll keep going with it if this goes to court.
Oh, so. I'm looking at it, and then I read a comment. Was that the same story that I read where somebody said, well, whoever that reporter is, you need to be fired? Was it? But it's probably something else I saw. All right, buddy, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you later. 8:11, Dudley and Bob Show with Matt Bearden. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen.